All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of From the Sidelines. I'm Cullen Mack. Here with me, as always, is Daniel DiMaggio. Daniel, are you in Augusta right now, man?
Shh, I'm swinging. Shh,
Oh, sorry.
swinging. Yeah, it's, Masters are coming up. I just thought it's sports themed and it's beautiful. Why not?
A lot of stuff to talk about this week. First things first, NCAA tournament, March Madness. March is over, but there's still a lot of madness happening. The biggest thing this week was you called this game. You called this one last week, so props to you. Number 11, NC State upsets number 4, Duke, 76-64.
In England, you have the Duke of Essex. In North Carolina, you have the Duke of Exits. How do you stop DJ Burns? There's no answer because he's barbecue chicken. I was literally watching this guy in the fourth quarter being taken out on defensive plays and plopped right back in on offensive plays. Say what you want about him as a defender. Not one of those top touted recruits on Duke could stop this guy. Not one.
Yeah, I mean, DJ Burns had a crazy game. He had 29 points. He went 13 for 19. This guy is just a crazy athlete. I don't know if you heard about it this week, but NFL GMs are reportedly interested in DJ Burns. They want him to come to the NFL. I'm assuming to be either a lineman or either offensive or defensive, but he's a great athlete. And if he doesn't have a future in basketball, he definitely has a future in football, apparently.
We haven't even seen him play a football position yet. I don't want him going to the NFL because I see the vision with this guy. Put him on. This guy can handle the rock down low. He's got a great post move. It's pretty unguardable.
Yeah.
You're just going to move him to the NFL after that? I don't know.
Also, shout out to point guard DJ Horn, former ASU Sun Devil. So forks up to him. I'm glad the graduate student has finally found a home over at NC State, and he's cooking right now. So props to him. He had 20 points, I believe, in the dub the other day.
And Jared McCain deserves his flowers too. The guy might go to the NBA as a freshman out of college. The guy's a beast. And regardless what you want to say about Duke, you can't say anything about his character. He came to play.
Yeah, if he goes to the NBA this year, do you think he redoes the song and he's like, I'm 2 days into college and I'm 3 film sessions behind? Well, in other news for NCAA, number 1 Purdue outlasts number 2 Tennessee 72-66. This is a big matchup. You have SEC Player of the Year, Dalton Knecht, going against arguably the best player in college basketball, Zach Edey. Dropped 40. He went insane. You just can't stop the guy. But I will say, it looked like every time that Purdue was pulling ahead, Tennessee just came right back. And they, until the very end, I felt like they were still in the game. This guy is really talented. I'm excited to see him. Honestly, both these guys, him and Dalton Knecht, and
those guys are really impressive. They're not as impressive as Caitlin Clark or Paige Beckers, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying that to get clicks. I watched these women March Madness games on Monday between USC and UConn. Great game. I also watched the Iowa game. Caitlin Clark was unstoppable. At times I'm like, what are you doing shooting that shot? And then it goes in, and she's incredible.
Yeah, she's the best player in, I think, maybe all of college basketball, both sides, and it's just undeniable at this point. So I'm excited to see her in the WNBA next year. Also, one last thing, Bronny James entered the transfer portal, and he's expected to leave USC. Best of luck to wherever he goes next on his journey.
It's been an interesting week in the MLB. We're about a week in. I wanted to talk about something that's kind of being swept under the radar, kind of expected, the Athletics boycott disaster. I've been seeing headlines about it all week. I saw a graphic that said the AAA team sold out more seats than the night before at the Oakland A's game. I mean, they're averaging like 3,000 fans a game. That is seriously concerning. But you know why they're averaging 3,000 fans a game? Because the other 1,000 are standing outside boycotting John Fisher, their cheap owner.
I need more money, Steve. Billy, I need more money.
We don't have any
I can't
more money.
These Oakland natives are upset that their team is moving to Vegas. Regardless of what you think or how you feel about the Oakland A's as a baseball team, they have some passionate fans. And now you're going to make them drive to Vegas, waste all their money on gambling. Like, what's your problem? Like, what are you thinking now, John Fisher? What are you doing to these Oakland natives? I don't get it.
It's crazy. I'm kind of excited. I've been to Vegas a couple times. I'm a Vegas frequenter, I would like to say. I've been to Vegas. I could literally count on one hand how many times I've been to Vegas, but I'm excited for the Oakland A's to become the Las Vegas A's. You know, they're knocking down the legendary Tropicana, which has kind of seen its best years go by a long time ago, but they're knocking that down to make a giant stadium. I'm very excited. I can't wait to place sports bets on the A's while I'm in the stadium. Hopefully the players don't, though, because that'll get a little suspension for them.
Well, what I will say, if you're betting for the A's, always bet the under. How about this team on my jacket? It's been quite the start to the season for the New York Mets. Lindor is lighting it up with an .063 batting average. But Francisco Alvarez is thriving. Also, Alonso can't hit a grand slam with nobody on. The Mets, they need to call up prospects like Vassell and Scott because Severino's not cutting it. Tyler McGill's not cutting it. Severino's doing the same thing he was doing on the Yankees, which is getting shelled. No offense. So the 188 team average, that one stands out to me as well. Way too low. Let's just say I'm upset and I want to put a positive spin on things. I got McNeil's back no matter what, because that little fight between him and Hoskins has been the only thing that has strike a match into our season.
I kind of feel bad now because I was just about to go on a little rant talking about Shohei Ohtani and his, I would like to say, struggles for the LA Dodgers. And I only say it's struggles because the guy is making what feels like
$100 billion. Gentlemen.
And he's batting at the moment 242, which is kind of average. And, you know, I feel like that's like a league average, and that's pretty good. But I didn't realize you had guys batting under .100 on your team. So I'm going to take that back. I'm just going to praise the Dodgers now. So I praise
Cullen. Wow. Cullen. Oh my gosh. Shohei Ohtani. Granted, he's the most expensive player in baseball. How do you think I feel about Francisco Lindor every year when he underperforms? And it's not personal. I love Francisco. He's got a great smile, but he's worth $340 million. So of course I'm always going to be like, is he enough? Is he worth this? Look, it's not my money, but like part of it is living up to that contract, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel you 100%. I think 242 is, for a guy that has a contract like he does, he should be putting up Mookie Betts numbers. So praises to Mookie Betts, who's currently leading the league in home runs right now. At the time we're recording this video, he has 5 home runs leading the league, and he's batting .500. So every other time he comes up to the plate, he's smacking that thing out to the parking lot in Chavez Ravine. It is, again, that time of the year. We're wrapping it up in the NBA. It's almost time for the playoffs. But before the playoffs, let's talk about the play-in tournament. For those of you that don't know, it's the bottom seeds for both conferences. So that's 7 through 10. 7 and 8 are going to play each other. The winner of that game becomes the 7th seed. 9 and 10 are going to play each other. The loser of that game is eliminated. And then the winner of that game plays the loser of 7-8. to play for the 8th seed. Basically like a mini playoff tournament. It's the play-in right before the actual playoffs start. I wanted to kind of look at some of the potential matchups that we have going on right now. But let's start with the West. So first we have number 7 Sacramento taking on number 8 Phoenix. I want you to tell me who you think's going to come out the winner of this game.
On paper, I talked about this. Phoenix looks like they would blow them out of the water. Okay, who's going to guard Domantas Sabonis down low? KD? KD's going to guard Domantas? I mean, that's a little boy for Domantas. Domantas is a dog. Let's not sleep on him. Who's going to guard De'Aaron Fox? Who can guard De'Aaron Fox on the Suns? No one. I mean, I think it's going to be an offensive series. And I think the one weakness with the Phoenix Suns is their defense, right?
Yeah.
And Sacramento can expose you with that pick and roll with De'Aaron Fox, with Domantas Sabonis, with a 3-shooter like Keegan Murray. I got the Sacramento Kings in one game. I don't know about you, man. I got the Kings.
I will say it will be Yusuf Nurkic guarding Sabonis, though, for the Suns. Kevin Durant said before the season started, they're not really a defensive team. Offense is their identity, so other teams are going to have to outscore them. But I think Sacramento plays with such a good pace that they're definitely a team that's capable of that. One thing to note, though, both Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk are currently out right now with injuries. So hopefully they get some rest, maybe come back for this game. So those are two really important guys on their team.
Malik Monk's a 6-man of the year candidate. Losing a guy like that is detrimental.
Yeah.
That prohibits their chances a little bit.
I will agree with you, though. Full health, I'm going to go Sacramento on this one.
Right.
Sacramento takes it. So they're the 7th seed. So that means 9 and 10. That's the Lakers and the Warriors.
Ooh, okay.
What a matchup. We can't escape the LeBron, Steph Curry matchups. I feel like they're the things that real, true, or even, casual NBA fans look forward to the most every year. Two of the marquee players, the guys that are probably still the faces of our league right now. Our league.
So who's going to win?
The NBA.
Who's going to win, Cullen?
I think the Lakers are going to win. The Warriors are good, or they're getting better, but they've struggled all year. The two things they lack is size and people to consistently help Steph Curry. We know Steph Curry's going to put up at least 30 against this Lakers squad. There's no doubt about it. But who's going to be that second fiddle? Is Andrew Wiggins going to step up? Is Clay going to be that guy that we know he can be? Or is he just going to be the Clay that he's been lately? And it's kind of sad to see, but no, I think this is Lakers all the way. I'm predicting a dominant Anthony Davis performance. I'm going to say 35 and 15 rebounds for AD with a couple blocks.
Don't take that to DraftKings. Don't do any bets on that. We didn't say bet on it, but he did give his predictions.
DraftKings just heard me, so they're calling in to Vegas right now to change the lines, actually.
Yeah, I'll give it to the Lakers. Size. Who's going to stop Anthony Davis? Kevon Looney? Draymond's going to get tossed in the first quarter. I think so. I was going to say the Warriors just because of Steph Curry, but it's just Steph Curry. So yeah, I'll take the Lakers.
So Warriors are out. We said Sac is 7, so that means the Lakers and the Suns are going to be playing for that 8th seed. Who do you got?
Oh, this gets even harder. Man. Oh, man. One game?
One game. Yeah.
And guess who the X factor is?
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal.
All right. Awesome. Well, we covered the West. Let's move over across the other side of the nation over to the East. 7 and 8 right now. It's sitting at number 7 is the Miami Heat, and number 8 is the Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid just had his return to action. And I mean, this guy, besides maybe a little bit of conditioning and some cardio, looks like he hasn't missed a step. So what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's Miami, man. They just got that championship DNA. Tyrese Maxey's great, but he's young. Yep. Who knows if the pressure gets to him in a one game? Jimmy Butler's made for this stuff. Throw Bam on Joel. Joel will still go off, but who's going to guard Jimmy in crunch time? Tobias Harris? Yeah. Okay. Nice try, Tobias. I'll take Miami, man. I'll take the Eastern Conference champions from last year. I don't know about you, though.
Yeah, no one's stopping Jimmy Buckets when it comes playoff time. Everyone always doubts this Heat team. It always happens every year. The past couple years, they've been like 7th seed, 6th seed, 8th seed, and then where do they end up every year? The Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. This is insane. I mean, you just can't doubt these guys. Jimmy Butler is just a proven leader. He knows how to flip it to that next gear when it comes to playoff time. It doesn't matter who's on his squad. It can be you. It could be Gabe Vincent. It could be me and Tyler Hero. They're winning this game.
Why not move on to the 9-10 seed game, which is looking like the 9 seed Chicago versus the 10 seed Atlanta?
The Atlanta Hawks, my hometown team. I'm going to take this chance to show off my jersey. I'm wearing a retro Dominique Wilkins jersey. I think this thing's pretty tough, So I love this jersey. I love Dominique Wilkins, and I love the Hawks. And this is tough because they're the 10th seed. Both these teams are currently missing big guys. Chicago missing Zach LaVine, but they've had guys like Ayo Dosunmu as well as Kobe White step up in his absence and play absolutely lights out. And Atlanta missing their best player in Trae Young. They don't have that star in Trae Young, but they're playing some great team basketball. They're
No
all
question.
passing the ball. They're all getting shots up. They're getting good, clean shots. So Atlanta Hawks all the way. See you, Chicago.
If Trae Young is in the game, I say Atlanta. If he isn't, Chicago. How about that? That's how important Trae Young is, man. Look, he can't play defense, but he will light you up for 40. You
Yeah.
need those 40 points. It's an offensive game nowadays. Trae Young, heal up, man. Because guess what? Cullen, every ATL fan, they better hope you're on that court by the
Yeah.
time that game comes on.
We definitely need Ice Trae. I was just trying to make us sound tough, but I will say neither one of us is going to beat the 76ers and Joel Embiid. So whoever wins, Chicago or Atlanta, it was a nice playoff experience.
Yeah, it was a really fun rendezvous. Thanks for
a-
showing up, guys. See you in Cancun.
See you guys. See you there. All right. So last segment, real quick. We're hitting the NFL. We're going to take a moment of silence as former NFL cornerback Vontae Davis, brother of Vernon Davis, tragically passed away this week. Please join us in a moment of silence. On to some other news. If you have been itching to see some more football, I recommend you check out the UFL. The USFL and XFL joined forces to have the UFL, and there was something quite amazing that happened this past week. This guy, Jake Bates, he's a kicker, and he hasn't had a field goal attempt since high school. He had a game.
What's your point? Where are you going with this? What's your point? Why should I care?
He had a game-winning 64-yard field goal. Imagine not like throwing a baseball in months or years and then throwing like a strikeout in game 9 of, game 9. I mean, in the
Game
ninth
9.
inning.
I wish there were 9 games.
In the ninth inning of some game to be some legend. I mean, this guy is insane. 64 yards. I think the longest field goal in NFL history is 63 by Justin Tucker. So I basically witnessed the best kicker in the history of the world the other day, and he's in the UFL.
Everybody needs to be aware of the phenomenon Jake Bates. I am now a fan just after hearing you say that. Speaking of the world and football, Chiefs signing a rugby player. What if this guy's insane? He already said he'll play wide receiver and running back. We don't know what he's going to be like with pads on, but guess what? Just think of rugby as football without the pads. So I think he'd probably be fine. Andy Reid loves to get, he loves to get fancy with the special gadget plays. This guy seems like the perfect tool.
Yeah, shout out to Louis Reese Zammit. He runs a 4.43 40-yard dash. So, I mean, this guy's got some wheels on him. So, like you said, you got to see what it's like when he puts the pads on, but I'm sure this guy's going to make quite an impact on the Chiefs. Two other big things happened this week.
The Jets got Hassan Reddick from the Eagles for what? The pick becomes the second if he plays a certain amount of snaps. Either way, we got one of the best linebackers in the league for pretty much nothing. Like, adding him to the team, him and CJ Mosley, the pass rush is going to go crazy.
Lastly, moving on to one more thing, I just want to say, hello, brother. Okay. Because if you're a Texans fan, I would have woken up extremely excited today. I probably would have jumped for joy out of my bed. And if you're a Bills fan, you probably cried tears of sadness today. It's okay, Josh Allen. You'll get through this, buddy. So basically, the news is that Josh Allen has no one to throw to anymore because the Bills traded Stefon Diggs. This guy is probably arguably a top 5 receiver in the league. They traded him to the Texans. They sent Stefon Diggs a 5th round pick, a 6th round pick in return for a 2nd round pick. I mean, they basically traded Stefon Diggs for a pack of Hubba Bubba bubblegum.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, it gives us something to talk about and get angry about. But Stefon Diggs, top 5 wide receiver in the game. You can't even get a 1st round pick for him. You can't even get a 2nd round pick this year for him. And on top of that, you're throwing in a 5th and a 6th, and that might not seem like nothing, but who knows if the Texans snag a great guard in the 5th round with that pick? Like, why are you just throwing them the 5th and the 6th? Don't do that. It's Stefon Diggs.
If you're CJ Stroud, you're probably literally sitting on cloud 9 right now. We saw what CJ Stroud did last year with the group he had. He had some great players, like Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Devin Singletary was able to make a really good impact on this offense. But now you're bringing in guys like Joe Mixon and Stefon Diggs. I'm going to say this right now, and I want you to hold me to it next year. But the Texans might be a dark horse Super Bowl winner. Was that a hot take? Am I flaming up right now? Is there flames? I feel hot.
I think it's a hot take. I would have stopped at Super Bowl contender. Winner? Okay. Wow. Let's let the trade digest a second. But I'll hold you to it. It's CJ Stroud, and I watched him play at OH. Anything can happen. Anything can happen with a dog like CJ Stroud.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to do it for us this week on From the Sidelines. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Cullen Mack.
I'm Daniel DiMaggio.
And we'll see you guys next week.